We're now joined by the host of Overdrive, Bryan Hayes, and former Maple Leaf Frankie Corrado. And as we've all heard by now, according to our Darren Dreger, Auston Matthews expected to be named captain of the Maple Leafs on Wednesday, replacing John Tavares, who's worn the C since 2019. But he reportedly fully supports the move. And Frankie, you were in the dressing room with Auston Matthews when he was a rookie. So let's start with you first. Is this more of a significant move for Tavares or Matthews?
It's more significant for Auston Matthews. This is the next step in his legacy, and quite honestly, Sarah, this should have happened 5 years ago. Auston Matthews was made to be the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. All of his peers, and what I mean by that is players that were drafted very high that are the faces of their franchise. I'm talking McDavid, Crosby, Ovechkin, Stamkos. That's what Matthews is to this organization, and then some. They are the captain. They deserve to be the captain. And for Auston Matthews, this is not a burden. This is an opportunity to write his legacy as the captain of the Maple Leafs that hopefully, for them, delivers a Stanley Cup. And yes, I remember Auston Matthews as a rookie. I remember him coming in, Sarah. He was a man-child. He was huge. But you know what? He was poised and he was ready for the moment. And I have no doubt that Auston Matthews will be ready for the moment as a Toronto Maple Leaf captain.
Yeah, definitely a big change for Matthews. But as Frankie just pointed out, he's been the man in Toronto for years, right? He's been the leader. He's been the de facto captain for a long time. So he steps in. It's going to be an adjustment for him. But I think it's a bigger adjustment for John Tavares because he was a captain with the Islanders. He's been a captain here in Toronto for 5 years. I can't imagine at any point in the last 5 years he envisioned maybe wrapping up his career in Toronto as anything but the captain. Now he has to adjust to that. He's no longer the guy in the front. That's Matthews, and he's got to find his role. He's still getting paid a lot of money. He's got to be productive. He's a big piece here. He's got to be a leader, but he's got to adjust that leadership role. I do think, though, this can be beneficial for him, though, in the end, Sarah, because he can take a step back. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of priorities go towards the captain. Anything crazy happens, you got to speak. Nothing crazy happening, you got to speak. Every single day, he's got to be out there. I think Tavares did a really good job with that for 5 years. This may be his final season in Toronto. We'll see. But he can take a bit of a step back, allow Matthews to take over. I think it can be beneficial in terms of the way he plays on the ice. But it's definitely an adjustment for John Tavares. The last 5 years, all he's known, and I'm sure he's been very proud of it, is I'm the captain of the Maple Leafs. He's no longer the captain, and we know he's not going to be again.
Yeah, and maybe taking that pressure off, he can just let it fly out there on the ice. That's a great point. So now hockey is one of the very few sports where each team has just one designated captain, right? But we've also seen NHL teams play out full seasons without anybody wearing the C, including the Maple Leafs. So with that said, Hayes, do you think there's really any significance to having a designated captain?
I do think so, and I think it's a real honor for Auston Matthews. I'm sure it was a real honor for John Tavares and Dion Phaneuf and Doug Gilmour and Wendell Clark, all the way down the list. This is an original six team, the biggest hockey market in the world. It's an incredible honor to be the captain of this team, but it's also an opportunity for Auston Matthews to take the lead behind the scenes. I don't think it adjusts anything on the ice. Fine, he goes and talks to the ref. John Tavares can still do that. He takes the ceremonial puck drop. John Tavares could still do that. Now it's Auston Matthews. That's a photo op. But this is more about what are you going to change behind the scenes. I don't expect it will be drastic, but in terms of how you handle rookies, when you expect guys to show up at camp a week before, 2 weeks before, speaking to the media every single day, a different voice, a different tone. I do think it's still significant. I think it has a place in the game, and I'm sure Auston Matthews is very proud to take on this honor for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
And it is an honor. It's a privilege. It's also, it's not just a letter on a jersey. Like, this is where Auston Matthews needs to define how the Maple Leafs walk different, talk different, and look different, not only off the ice, like you said, Hayes, but on the ice. There has to be something that we can watch that's tangible, that looks different with Auston Matthews as the captain. What that's going to be, we don't really know yet. Auston Matthews, very similar disposition to John Tavares, but maybe having the C on his jersey brings out a little something extra in Auston Matthews. And the fact of the matter, in the dressing room, the captain sometimes gets the only say, sometimes gets the last say, but he is the biggest voice and who everyone looks to. And for the last 5 years, they've been looking to John Tavares. Now they will be looking to Auston Matthews. He will have that responsibility, and he is poised and ready for it.
Yeah, and he's one of the best players in the league, so he is going to set his standard as he will become the 26th captain of the Maple Leafs. But just the second non-Canadian-born player joining Hall of Famer Matt Sundin. Guys, thanks for this.